And hello everyone, welcome to another Let's Play. This is Myrokos, and today we will be doing the Hatching Tide event. I know it's been a while since my last stream. I have yet to start 7.2 MSQ. Things have just been very busy with me and my family, and I haven't really had time to do much in the way of streaming. But I thought I'd give myself a little bit of time today and get it done. I still also have to... I hear there's also a Fantasia going on. Let's see, what job do I want to do this on? So many choices. Let's see, what about... Ew. It is glam. Must change. There we go. Better. Yes. Ah, the Wandering Moogle's back. Well, now that we should meet again, and just as I was given another file of Fantasia from my minstrel friend. Oh, it's a minstrel, okay. It's clearly Fate's design that you should have it, so do take it with you, Kupo. Okay. So that's a file of Fantasia. Where? Okay, it's probably on one of my retainers, but so long as I don't use it, I should be fine. Now let's go on to the Hatching Tide event. If you like what you see at any point, please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Give me a follow on Twitch. Hit the notification bell. It's a small thing from each of you, but it helps the channels out tremendously. Thank you in advance, and thank you to Chiyoko Kurokumo for giving you a follow. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. So now let us speak with Julia Lipo. In pursuit of excellence, Julia Lipo has a great deal to say about Hatching Tide. This seasonal quest is available for a limited time only. Hatching Tide is upon us once more. I hope the season finds you in excellent fettle. For my part, Myrokos, it is an absolute pleasure to see you again. While I have your attention, allow me to expound upon the nature of this year's festivities. Hatching Tide has its origins in the days before the 7th Emperor Calamity, when 12 sages of an era past appeared before me in a startling vision. Why do I feel like I've read this before? I guess they're trying to set it for the new expansion, but okay. I've been visited by such dreams ever since, and this year was no exception. I saw great massive eggs as vivid as those before you now, borne aloft unto the heavens. Making dreams manifest has never failed to lend wonder to Hatching Tide before, so needless to say, I intend to bring my latest vision to life. Speaking of which, the eggs I commissioned ought to arrive any moment now. Oh, Geely, it's a disaster! The cart toppled over en route. Thankfully, the driver was unscathed, but I can't say the same for the eggs. Good heavens, I'm glad to hear the poor driver was unharmed, but without the eggs, how are we to breathe life into my dream? Don't worry, I'll simply fashion some more eggs myself. Though to create the quantity required will take time, and we're already facing at least a minor delay at this point. If only I could assign someone to help you. Alas, the other dreamers are busy enough as it is, and I must see to the schedule alterations myself. Oh, guess who's gonna help? But wait, Myrokos, perhaps you'd be willing to lend a hand? Of course I will. That's kind of the way it goes. Myrokos! How wonderful to see you again, knowing what an exemplary... Oh god, the pun. Assistant you are gives me cause for hope, if you're happy to help, that is. Of course I am. Thank you. The first order of business will be procuring more of the necessary egg supplies from the merchant. Our supplier should be in the market. He's a burly fellow, so he won't be difficult to spot. We can only hope that he has enough stock. I'm sorry that I cannot attend to the eggs personally, but your assistance will make all the difference. Thank you. And here's the egg advocate. So what items? Hatching tide. Prism. Again, that looks like this. Okay. Pretty bland. Courteous collector. What is... Okay, this is just talking about the stuff that I've already read. So go to the market. Actually, what am I doing? I can use the teleporter. Or the Ethernet. There's our man. Ah, you're the dreamer who was here before, ain't ye? A right old mess, to be sure. Afraid I'm all out of the supplies you need, though. Oh, is there really nothing you can do for us? Well, I do have some tatty old odds and ends, or surplus wares, that might be of use. If you want them, they're all yours. Might not be exactly what you needed, but I'm sure you can cobble something together with these. The storage fees were eaten into me I'd rather see them put to good use. He's offloading useless junk. When I ordered the initial batch of supplies, I remembered thinking, what a kind fellow he was. He certainly proved me right. Any road, we'd better take stock of what he's given us. Which is a bunch of random stuff. We're not going to be making eggs. I got that feeling. Let's see. This leather looks durable. We have some metal springs and rings that could do for a mechanism of some sort. We're going to be crafting the parasol reward. Oh my goodness. And these lengths of timber could be cut down to a more portable size. I think these herbs and resins are used to concoct water-repellent alchemical solutions. We're making the parasol. Yep. Never tried it myself, but there's a first time for everything. Besides that, there are plenty of bits and bobs. We should have no trouble when it comes to decoration. Unfortunately, we won't be able to recreate the eggs Julie saw in her dream. With these, we could make something far easier to get off the ground, though. Parasols. The trick will be making them look eggy enough. Any rounded object looks like an egg from far enough away. It's science. The shell makes the egg, as they say. Do they say that? Any road? We should paint them. Triple dots. Let's go with the middle one. You're right. With some festive patterns on the outer canopy and a convincingly eggy structure, the parasols might just make for a worthy replacement. Parasols are a sight more fiddly than your standard egg, though. With just the two of us, production will take far too long. So we'll need to enlist further help, just as I did with you. Okay? Fortunately, the guild artisans should be less likely to balk at the request for parasol parts than a rush order for myriad eggs, particularly if we supply the materials. Let's first pay a visit to the Leather Workers Guild. I'm sure they'll be able to transform our leather into something fit for a canopy. That reminds me, I haven't really been keeping up with the crafting job quests. I've explained the situation to Giva, and she seems inclined to sympathy. If we keep our manners about us, we should manage to secure the guild's assistance. Name, Guildmaster Giva. Ah, if it isn't Myrokos, you must be the adventurer assistant Nunato spoke of. I'm also a member of the Leather Workers Guild. How could you forget me? Whatever. She was just informing me of your plight. Many of our apprentices are looking forward to the Hatching Tide celebrations. You shall have the guild's aid, although I'm afraid we lack some of the resources needed to work your leather into parasol canopies. The material is water-resistant to a degree, but nevertheless porous. Untreated, it will degrade over time and begin to rot, but our stock of coating is perilously low at the moment. If it's a water repellent you're after, say no more. We just so happen to have the necessary ingredients, so I can see to its preparation. In the meantime, if you would take this timber over to the Carpenters Guild and request that they craft the parasol frame, we can meet up back at the Black Rabbit Traders stall anon. Trust that your leather is in capable hands. Ooh, okay. As someone who is a crafter, I kinda wish there would be a little more recognition for the fact that I am a leather worker. And I'm capped at 100, wow. Why do you stand there like a frightened school child? If you need something, speak. And again, I'm a carpenter as well. Good heavens. Okay. Various lengths of timber ready to be sawn and lathed into parasol parts. You wish this timber to be fashioned into parasol frames. Very well, I shall see it done by competent hands. The younglings in the acorn orchard await the festivities. For their sake, no effort will be spared on the parasol's preparations. We shall commence work right away. Let your associates know that the Carpenters Guild has matters in hand. The timber you provided lacks the flexibility needed to create arching ribs. However, Mistress Fufucha will doubtless assist in procuring what we need. Oh, Fufucha. Oh, wow, the Botanist Guild. Nice nod there. I trust everything went well at the Carpenters Guild. It did. I've just placed an order for the alchemical solution and a few other things besides. The next step will be to piece all the parts together into a prototype parasol. I'll bring the prototype over to Geely once I finish, so you can go ahead and wait with her. I'm delighted to play a part in realizing another hatching tide for the ages. Leave the alchemical solution and the finer details to me. I'll soon have everything sourced. This is... Well, I guess that's the parasol. Welcome back, Myrokos. You'll be pleased to hear that I've adjusted the schedule to accommodate our little mishap, and all set to proceed. How fare the eggs? No eggs. We're making a parasol. Substituting parasols for eggs? What a wonderful idea! I can hardly wait to see what Nonata cooks up for the prototype. The wait we must. Exceeding expectations. There is a restaurant near where I live that either is or used to be called Egg-spectations. I half expected this expectations to be egg-spectations. Julia Lipo is patiently waiting to see the parasol prototype. Press is available for a limited time only. Nonata will surely be along any moment now. Sorry to keep you both waiting. Allow me to present you with the very first Archon Egg Parasol. What a fine example of ingenuity. It's magnificent. I'm so glad you approve. With your blessing, I'll begin producing more to distribute. In the meantime, we find ourselves at a loose end. But we cannot let Nonata outstrip us in Hatchingtide spirit. There must be more we can do. Let's show off your parasol to the townsfolk. Perhaps we can drum up a crowd with the promise of gifts. But of course, we ought to promote our newest addition to the festivities. If we tell even a few Gritanians of these gorgeous accoutrements, that these gorgeous accoutrements will be available to those who celebrate with us, word will spread of its own accord. Yeah, but will our supplies of parasols last? With that in mind, I shall keep mine unfurled and on display. You use your adventurer instincts to identify those most in need of egg-themed accessories. The market is always busy. Let us look for potential celebrants there. Julie is now accompanying you. Keep her at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. It's good that they give that reminder. I didn't need it personally, but it's good that they remind it, especially if somebody's just starting and they haven't encountered that mechanic. That is a good reminder. Oh, and we have a speech bubble dialogue. We dreamers are responsible for all the decorations you see throughout the city. Take that basket over there, for instance. I came up with the idea. What oh, that basket. Okay. I came up with the idea, and no one knows how it worked to magic to create the final product. Interesting. I say, madam, you must tell me where I might acquire such a resplendent parasol, like unto your own. At our Hatching Tide event, of course. How about it? Will you join us at the amphitheater? I'd be delighted, a true connoisseur of eggs, both decorative and edible. I attend annually in hopes of glimpsing ovoid perfection, and this parasol surpasses my every imagining. Such elegance, such egginess. Okay. Why, that parasol is an absolute delight. It's not often you see that level of craftsmanship paired with such decorative flair. This might be the finest egg-inspired apparel I've ever seen. Might I ask who was responsible for this masterpiece? The Leather Workers Guild, the Carpenters Guild, Black Rabbit Traders, and our Dreamers all had their parts to play in it, and if you join us in celebrating Hatching Tide, you can receive one just like it. I should have known that the Guild's artisans were involved. If it means getting my hands on a parasol, I'd be more than happy to take part in the festivities. Heavens above, is that adorable parasol fashioned after an Archon egg? Exquisite, isn't it? If you join us at the amphitheater, you will receive one just like it. For years I have searched for a parasol as darling as an egg, getting sunburned and soaked by turns, and you offer me one free of charge. 'Tis a Hatching Tide miracle. I expect those three will tell all and sundry about our parasols. Our work here is done. When I think back to the very first Hatching Tide, it is a marvel just how popular the occasion has become. I have so many people to thank for their efforts, yourself included. Well, that went rather swimmingly. You clearly have an eye for egg connoisseurs. I shall go and see how many attendees are gathered at the amphitheater. Feel free to join us when you have a moment. Actually, you know what? Let's sprint. They added a jog feature. Let's see it in what action. Although I probably will, Yep, there's the jog. Not bad. Oh, there's the egg appraiser. When I laid eyes upon this parasol, its quality spoke loud and clear, a triumph of design, both practical and decorative. It's not often I find an article so worthy of my discernment. To think I'd end up with one of these delightful parasols all for myself. You and your associates are so generous. And there's our third person. This parasol is truly the peak of ovoid aesthetics. Timing my visit to coincide with hatching tide was a fine idea indeed. Okay. Oh, no nota. The folks who gathered certainly are enthusiastic about showing off their parasols. Fortunately, no one's yet lost an eye. Look, Myrokos, isn't the sight of those parasols simply marvelous? Egg held aloft, just as in my dream. Hooray, we did it, Genie. Okay. We certainly did. Shall we officially declare this hatching tide a success? Hold that thought, you've yet to see the half of it. My Senta. I'm not quite so sure how I follow. Quite a few of my customers asked about your parasols, more than can comfortably gather here. In fact, nevertheless, I took the liberty of handing out stock to those who came inquiring. With how many left my soul with a smile on their face and a parasol in hand, the whole city is awash in floating eggs. That's incredible to think the parasols are bringing joy even beyond our celebration. Wait, Julie, they're one and the same, aren't they? The celebration has spread across the city, born by a great mass of floating eggs. You're right. I was intent on gathering people here, but the eggs in my dream were far too numerous to contain in one place. They were always meant to be seen far and wide. That our original plans met with misfortune was a blessing in disguise, for we've touched the hearts of more people than I dared to imagine. There's no doubt in my mind this will go down as a hatching tide to remember. Black Rabbit traders shall continue distributing parasols to those who ask. They may be free of charge, but they're drawing business in spades. Nonota told me how to assemble them, so I can prepare as many as necessary. Truly, where would we be without your ingenuity, Nonota? I couldn't have done it without our able adventurer. Ah, that reminds me, I have something for you, Myrokos. This will be my parasol. That's the very second parasol I ever made, after Julie's, of course. I thought it fitting that you receive it. With eggs aloft across the city, all that's left is to enjoy the festivities. Your work may have finished, Myrokos, but Hatchington most certainly hasn't. And there it is. And Nona to first relayed the awful news. I wondered how we could possibly salvage the situation, but now I can see I needn't have worried. This has exceeded all expectations. Thank you, Myrokos. Again, the bad egg puns. Adventurer, I had such fun preparing the parasols with you. I'll be forever grateful for all your help. Okay, let's go into fashion accessories. And there we have it, the parasol in all its glory. Then again, of course, we saw it here. Red and gold on the inside, yellow and decorative on the outside. So if you liked what you saw at any point, again, like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Give me a follow on Twitch. Hit the notification bells, and I shall see you anon, friends. As for when anon is exactly, I do not know. Hopefully in the not too distant future. I know I've got MSQ to do, and towards the end of this month, the gathering and crafting thing for 7.2 is starting. It depends on when my circumstances alleviate themselves. Until then, see you anon, friends.